What is your will, my master?
Hey, what's up, Rory? Quick demo video for you for your Graflex. This looks like it came from the Graflex shop as a replica or from KR. I'm not sure which one, but it's very nice. It's got a Goth Master Chassis in it, and there was a lot of work put into this guy. So we'll just start from the outside. It's a 2-button setup. Your top button right here, that's your activation, and then your slide clamp here is going to be your auxiliary switch. You're actually missing one of the pins when this came to me. I put one in here that I had just because the hole was bothering me, but the pin that I put in here is longer than the other three, so you might want to see if you've got that laying around or something. I'm just going to send it with this pin. Yeah, so that's what's happening there. Both the main screw here, the flathead screw, and your bottom button, they're both protruding into the blade socket. Only wanted to use one of those for blade retention, so I chose to use the button here, so that way you didn't need a tool. So I went back and I took this guy out, chopped it down, and put it back so it's not in the way, but it's still holding the two pieces together. It holds the two blade holders together, right? You got a top piece and then a bottom piece. So yeah, this is your blade retention right here. This is just a faux button. It doesn't do anything. To get to everything, well, actually, you've got stock V2 MPXLs in there. You've got the holder with the magnet. I did make your KR blade that I'll fire up here in a minute. It's the blade with the KR strips, and it's got the magnet PCB holder on there as well. You just want to flip down this clamp, and then we'll take this handle off. Now you're not going to be able to get to the board from here. What you're going to have to do if you want to get to the board, you actually have to take this piece off, this switch section. You have to disassemble it from the top and slide it back, much like the ANH I did for you. I believe it was the same way. And then once you do that, you'll see, if I take this off right here, actually. I slide the clamp piece off. That's what it looks like without it. Now that's the door to your board, but you just can't get to it from here. You have to slide it back a little bit. So you're going to have to do that disassembly up here. So let me put this clamp on, and we can talk about that disassembly a little bit, because it is involved. So line it up properly. Yeah, right. So you're going to want to unscrew this top clamp and slide it out of the way. You don't have to take off the top piece of the blade holder, so you can just take off the back pins, this screw here, your blade retention, and you should be able to slide it back. Now it's going to be very it's a tight fit, right? So you're going to want to be careful sliding that back. This guy was screwed in pretty good when it came to me. It wasn't coming out, but it was also protruding into the saber a little bit. So when everything was out, I went in with a Dremel, and I dremeled the extra threading on this guy that was on the inside, so that's no longer in your way, and it will slide in and out easily. And you'll want to pay special attention when you put it back on, or assemble it back, because if you're off a little bit, your auxiliary switch isn't going to work properly, right? So there's a certain way it goes on. You'll have to mess with it, and then get it just right, and then tighten it down, like I did. So that takes a little bit of playing, because there's not very much play in this guy to get that switch mechanism to work. But anyway, this is your chassis. You got the black PLA material with the brass print. It looks really nice. You got a double crystal chamber here that will fire up. You got a bigger crystal over here, and then the smaller one back here. 28 millimeter Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker, and then this has an in-hilt battery. So what you want to do to get to your recharge port, there's your door right there. You just want to take your finger. I can do this on camera. I can't do it while I'm not looking at it. But you want to pop that door open just like that, right? The door pops open, and there's your kill key, and then your recharge port. So of course, if we pull that guy out, and then we can close it back. I'll turn this light on. As I told you through messages, I know you're going to do your own config and your own thing. So I only put one stock sound font on here because it has 3 blade styles. So that way it's easy for you to see what I did, and you can copy, or you can take that one font and you can see what I did and you can build off of that. So we just have the one font on here. I've got one crystal pulsating, the bigger one of the two, and then I've got the bottom one just flashing off and on, right? And the bottom one's actually white right now, and the top one's orange until you turn it on. And they both go to blue to match your blade. And you got your auxiliary switch right here. You can twist off, or you can just come over here and hit activation. Crystal chamber came out really nice. Just like that, we'll put the handle on. A lot of cram fu to get this guy right, you know, but it looks really nice when it's done. So we'll go ahead and throw the handle on, and we will throw your blade in here real quick so that you can see the blade fire up. I did sand your blade for a couple reasons. One, for a little bit of blade diffusion, although you don't need it too much for these KR strips. They're super bright and there's some minimal shadowing, but it was tight in the blade socket. I had to take some of these pins and I had to file them down, these gold pins, because they were sticking into the blade chamber, and some different things like that. So it was still a little bit tight, so I just went ahead. I had to sand that piece that went into the saber anyway, so I just went ahead and sanded the whole thing so it matched. All right, we'll put this guy in. So we got the blade in. I locked it down a little bit like this. This is sticking out a little bit when you lock the blade down. If you don't like that, you can take the threads on this guy and lop them off a little bit. Just don't go crazy with it, right? Because you need that for blade retention. So we got the blade in, activation. And that blade is super bright. This is the first KR strip that I've had in person. And so the first one that I've built, but also the first one that I've seen in person. And that thing is super bright. So you got good flash on flash. Blaster bolt deflex. It shouldn't take much. You should just be able to touch it, right? Now I don't have battle mode on here, so to get blade lock up, you'll have to hold down the aux and hit the saber or the blade. Just like that. It can be a little tricky to do, but hopefully you can see that blade lock up right here. And then you got your music tracks. Just the one for this guy. Hold down power for 1 second and let go, and then do the same to turn it off. Hold down power for 1 second and let go. But yeah, everything's working like it should. Like I said, I've only got the one font on here, so this is basically just to show you that it's working. Take this handle off if you want. So you can see everything light up. Yeah. Just like that. And then I'll put the kill key in here real quick before we take your blade out. We just want to flip that door open, obviously. Now this is a turn key, so technically you should be able to turn it and not take it out to turn it on. I find that's easy to do, but it's a little bit more difficult to turn it back off. So my personal preference is just to take that off entirely if you want to do anything with the saber, but of course that's up to you, however you want to do that. So we'll just come over here from your blade retention and loosen it up and take this blade right out. If you can see it, it's super tight. I don't know that you'll want to sand that anything more. I would say the only thing is to watch out for is you don't want to go jamming it in here, because like I said, it matters how you put this core back in so that your aux switch functions properly. But anyway, that is your saber. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, this will go out in the mail to you tomorrow. All right, thanks.